We're about to leave the estuary, and I believe we're on the St. John's River here. I did not check that. And just on this island we can see cars moving along. That's the interstate I-65 west, going away from Norfolk up to Williamsburg, Richmond, and all the vehicles go underneath a tunnel under the estuary mouth here. So it's a little hazy today. Estuary going back, interstate going back towards Norfolk. And this is the other side of the estuary mouth, the north bank. Here's Fort Monroe. Did not hear this fort's name on the south side of the estuary mouth. Yeah, well, here's the interstate coming out of the tunnel on the north side. Okay, here's the entrance to the tunnel again on the south side. There's a gazebo here. There's Fort Monroe. And we have a lighthouse over here. We've come back down to the hangar deck because there's going to be a celebration of readings, and it's called a celebration of reading at sea. We have seats here to watch the readings take place.
I wish I could be there. I really wish I could be there. But I send my warmest prayers to all of you on this Friends and Family Day aboard CVN77. Have a great day.
My father has lived a remarkable life and has lived it with great humility, and it is a uniquely American life. Long before he became president, he lived through a large measure of modern history and kept his moral compass throughout. When charged with writing My Father, My President, I knew it would be a challenge, but I also knew it would be the most exciting and rewarding work I'd ever do, and it was. Historians seek the truth as they see it, but the viewpoint they offer isn't necessarily the whole picture. True, a daughter may not have the expertise or objectivity of an historian, but an historian doesn't know a father the way his daughter does. Dad's love of sports was genetically linked to his mother, Dorothy, my namesake, who we called Ganny. Her father and Dad's namesake, George Herbert Walker, and Dad's father, Prescott Bush, who we called Gandy. From early childhood on, Dad excelled in tennis, soccer, basketball, and baseball, and still loves golf, fishing, boating, horseshoes, and skydiving. But the most important thing we, his family, have learned from his love affair with sports is that first and foremost, he's a good sport if he wins and a great sport if he loses. This trait has served as a moral barometer for everything else in his life. In insight as to his sense of fair play came when he was elected to Congress in 1966. He sold his interest in the Zapata Offshore Drilling Company to the second and much lower bidder because they agreed to his stipulation to keep all the existing employees on the job. Similarly, when he lost his second grueling Senate race, he was overheard on the phone the next day trying to find jobs for all the people that had worked on his campaign. Dad's astute knowledge of foreign policy impressed President Gorbachev during the fall of the Berlin Wall when Dad refused to gloat over his role and contribution to the unification of Germany. He explained, "In this matter, I will be acting prudently." He refused to act in a flashy way that could have dangerous consequences. Many, including Chancellor Kohl, believed this was a major factor as to why the unification process was so smooth and successful. Life after the White House found Dad enjoying having his grandchildren around and letting go of all the enormous burdens he shouldered throughout his public life. Since he loves to travel, he's taken them separately and together on many of his trips. Jenna says that, as a result, the cousins have grown especially close over the years, despite how public some of their lives have been, saying they, too, have come to rely on each other with the same trust and love as their parents. One of the greatest honors in my life is serving as the sponsor of the new aircraft carrier bearing Dad's name. In 2008, when she was officially commissioned and joined the fleet, I said, "Crew of the USS George H.W. Bush, man our ship and bring her to life." To which the crew yelled, "Aye, aye, man." As they embarked, the gun turret spun, the radar rotated, the bells, alarms, and whistles sounded, and the Navy band played Anchors Aweigh, while fighter jets flew overhead. You can't imagine what a thrill it was for me to see Dad's joy and excitement about this event, which I think honors not only his military heroism, but also his life of loyalty to his country and fellow man. In a recent letter to his children written on his last day at Walker's Point, Dad reflected on the completeness of his life and his joy in what he and Mom are now sharing. He ended the letter saying, "Because of you, whose hugs I can still feel, whose own lives have made me so proud, I can confidently tell my guardian angel that my life is CAVU, ceiling and visibility unlimited, and it will be that way until I die, all because of you." More than anything, I hope this book reveals the unbelievably thoughtful, courageous, funny, loving, forgiving, astute, and fiercely loyal man whose mantra has always been faith, family, and friends. The 41st President of the United States. The man I am so proud to call Dad.
As your sponsor, I do know the ship was commissioned in 2009 and not 2008, like I told you in the video. But as you just heard, my dad has had an extraordinary career that's unmatched in history. But the icing on the cake for him is having this ship named the George H.W. Bush. How lucky was I when he named me to be the ship's sponsor.
I do have 8 books on the subject, which I hope you will buy all of them. My plastic surgeon also hopes that you will buy all of them. But I will say that my evolution into the Sweet Potato Queen did have a lot to do with the fact that my earliest ambition in life was to be 5'2", have long red hair,